Hi, be joyful. Happy Friday. It's me, Tyler. Hey, I wanted to give you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be looking at this Sunday morning. We're going to be spending some time looking at one of the minor prophets at the very end of the Old Testament, a guy named Habakkuk. And it's a very short little book. It's only 3 chapters, but it's one of my absolute favorites. And the verse that we're going to be camping out in, the verse that we're going to be spending our time looking at on Sunday, is really at the very end. It's at the conclusion of his book, and he says, "Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herds in the stalls. Despite all of these things, despite the fact that things are not looking good," Habakkuk says this, "Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God, the Lord, is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on the high places." This comes at the conclusion of 3 chapters where Habakkuk has really been wrestling with the Lord. And he says, "God, why are you allowing these bad things to happen, and you are not active, you are not doing anything about it?" And the Lord responds, and he says, "Oh, I'm going to do something about it." And then he tells Habakkuk what he plans to do. And then Habakkuk returns and he says, "You're going to do what? You're going to use what as your method of rectifying the problem?" He questions God's methods. And the Lord comes back and is very patient in his responses to him. And then in chapter 3, Habakkuk spends a lot of time dwelling on and reflecting upon the characteristics and the qualities of our God. He says in chapter 3, verse 6, "He stood and measured the earth. He looked and shook the nations. Then the eternal mountains were scattered. The everlasting hills sank low. His were everlasting ways." He was saying God is beyond time. He lives in all time. He's not going to be in the future. He is in the future. He is not going. It's not that he was in the past. He is in the past. He is in the past. He is in the present. He is in the future. All at the same time. He is beyond time. Time does not bind him. He says at the very end of verse 9 and verse 10 in chapter 3, he says, "You split the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and writhed. The raging waters swept on. The deep gave forth its voice. It lifted its hands on high." He spends chapter 3 remembering the characteristics and qualities of God, and it leads him to this place of saying, "Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation," in spite of the fact that all of these things that Habakkuk is seeing all around him are wrong, are going wrong, are not looking right, are causing him to question. We're going to spend some time looking at that this Sunday. I can't wait to bring you the word, and I really encourage you guys, if you're going to join us online, great. If you can make it in person, great. Can't wait to spend that time with you. As you are spending some time in Habakkuk between now and Sunday morning, I would encourage you, maybe just spend some time journaling. Write down, what are those things that would cause you perhaps not to say, "I will rejoice in the God of my salvation. I will take joy in the Lord." What are those things that perhaps it's something, if it were to be taken away, that would cause you to struggle to say that as the cry of your heart? Just write those out. Spend some time writing those things out. And then write out, what do you think maybe are some ways that your heart could be transformed and moved to a point where you could say something similar to what Habakkuk says at the end of his book. I'll see you on Sunday. If you haven't RSVP'd already, please do so. We'll see you soon. Love you guys. Bye.